Hello everyone and welcome to a newscast by the Grumpy Old Agents with me, Carlos the Brave. Today we're going to talk about the patch notes for patch 1.0.2 for the division. So let's kick it off. First of all, we've got named enemies will now drop better loot in challenge mode than hard mode. Hell yeah. I mean, it seemed a bit weird that we were getting just blues from the challenge mode, which is incredibly hard and needs at least 3 very good players and usually 4 to make it a nice smooth run. So this is a very nice change. Quality of life, woohoo! Next, adding a cooldown period to the static turret stun attack in order to avoid stun locking people in PvP and enemies in PvE. This I've never really come across, I didn't notice it, and no one seemed to be using the turret when I was running around in the dark zone anyway, so I'm not really going to feel this myself, but I'm sure someone's come across it, or they won't be changing it, will they? Right, named NPCs will no longer respawn after being killed. Oh, sorry Bullet King, you're dead forever. They really should make some kind of memorial for him, or just have his body on the floor, maybe a statue. That'd be kind of cool. But anyway, you can't farm those named NPCs like you used to anymore. There's a few bug fixes that are coming our way as well, like getting stuck in reload animations, getting stuck in emote animations, and a skill power bug that was increasing skill power permanently after using death by proxy talent, which could possibly make some people very overpowered, but that's been fixed as well. They've fixed the Seeker Mine with Airburst and Multi-Mine mod attached that was detonating too soon and missing the target. I personally saw this myself and had to adjust the way I played when using it. I would throw the Seeker Mine behind the bad guys, but that also meant I had to get a bit closer. Not a problem for me, I'm kind of a close range person anyway. They fixed a bug where grenades would sometimes not display the blast radius warning when detonating. I think I've come across this. There was the odd time when I've been blown up, and I don't know why. It was in hectic situations where a lot of explosions were happening at any one time, so I suppose it's possible I wasn't paying attention, but it could have been this as well. They fixed a bug where weapon mods and weapon skins did not show up for other players in the world. I never really noticed this until yesterday, before the patch came out. They fixed a bug where weapon mods and weapon skins were not showing up for other players in the game world, which I only saw recently when I was trying to show off a very big sniper scope on top of an SMG, just for the laugh, and no one could see it. And they fixed an issue where DPS would not calculate properly when purchasing a new weapon mod. Now, there was a talent called Trained, which was on the Midas and a few other different guns, which would reduce your signature skill by 1% to 5% on a critical hit. Now, this was absolutely insane. You stack critical hit, you were critting all the time, your signature skill was recharging unbelievably fast, making it so you pretty much had 100% uptime on this massive damage boost, defense boost, or healing boost. Now, this has been scaled back on the Midas to a consistent 0.1%. So it's a very small percent now. We'll have to test to see if it's any good. I would say it's probably still a good perk, but definitely not overpowered anymore. Actually, for the Midas SMGs, trained talent has been replaced with responsive talent, which increases damage when getting closer to the target. This applies to existing weapons as well as newly acquired ones. So they've actually removed it from the Midas. Alright. Hey, I'm actually going to like that talent. That's my kind of playstyle, getting in close. So I'm really going to enjoy that. For all SMGs, LMGs and assault rifles that used to have this talent, they will now get another randomly picked weapon talent applied to existing weapons as well as newly acquired weapons. So that's not bad. I suppose it depends on how random it is and what you actually get. Now for the Dark Zone changes. First of all, let's start by saying there was a change intended for this patch, which would allow level 31 and level 32 NPCs to drop more Phoenix coins. However, that change was causing a bug, so they've removed that change and they will apply it in an upcoming patch. So let's see what we do have. Players can now heal other neutral players in the Dark Zone by using First Aid or Support Station. So this is good if you want to actually be helpful to people. You see someone down, you think they're not going to be hostile, so you want to help them out. Just throw them a healing station, but I'd probably carry on running. You never know. They might jump up and kill you. Players are now able to fast travel to Dark Zone checkpoints, but only when you're outside of the Dark Zone. There's more of a quality of life improvement, which is pretty good. There's no having to port to a mission nearby and then run to the Dark Zone entrance. Very nice. The Dark Zone disconnect timer has been increased to 30 seconds, meaning players will remain in the game world longer when logging out when in the Dark Zone. This applies while not in combat, which suggests when you are in combat, you are not going to be able to log out. Pretty handy for trying to catch that asshole that's managed to nick all your loot and is about to log out so you can't have it. Players killed in the Dark Zone will now drop ammo, medpacks and grenades. This loot is generated and not taken from the dying player's inventory. That's nice for keeping yourself up and not needing to run back to the safe houses just so you can get some ammo. You can carry on running around the world, and if you are planning on going manhunt rogue, then you are actually going to be able to keep your ammo stocks quite high and maybe even keep alive. It's pretty hard when you've got about 20 people after you. This is a good one, and the one after it. Players killed in the Dark Zone will lose less Dark Zone funds and experience, rogue and non-rogue. Scratch that, holy shit. The fucking Purge happened. I mean, seriously, The Purge. If you've seen the film, or the second one, you know what I'm talking about. This patch did not go well. It was released, and there was no consequence to going rogue in the Dark Zone. I mean, no consequence. Except for losing some items that you picked up. You did not lose keys, you did not lose XP, you did not lose Dark Zone funds. Hell, you didn't even lose your respect. It was so much fun. You got to run around killing everyone and anything you want. It was absolute anarchy. Chaos at its absolute best. There was rogues all over the place. People were having rogue on rogue battles. I went in with a friend into the Dark Zone. The first thing we saw was just lots of rogues battling against each other and a bunch of people running up to try and kill them. I accidentally hit someone who wasn't rogue. I went rogue. We just got owned instantly. Funny. Yeah, so we respawned, we came out, we started killing the rogues, and then we turned on everyone else, and we ended up going manhunt ourselves, and we legged it, and it was so much fun when you had about 10 people running after you, trying to kill you, and we'd stop at some points, kill a couple of people, then get legging it again, fast as we could, went underground, killed a few mobs, ran past a few more, leaving mobs between us and the people chasing us, and we ended up basically cornered with nowhere to go, and that's when it came alive. That's when the adrenaline hits, when you have nowhere to go, no hope, and the only thing you can do is kill everything in sight and hope that no one comes after you. But they do, and they will get you. But who cares? There was no repercussions. This patch did not work. It was, I want to say a mitigated disaster, but it was so much fun. It was the most fun fuck up I've ever seen and ever experienced that I can't say it was a bad thing. It was great. In fact, it gave me the idea that there should be a purge, maybe for 10 minutes, an hour, once every day, or maybe once a week. There's a section of time where all you do is run around killing each other because you have no repercussions. Maybe there's no benefits, I don't know. All I know is that it was so much fun that other people need to experience it. This mess up only lasted for about an hour, and more people need to experience the anarchy of what happened. Just because it was one of the greatest mess ups I've ever seen. I remember playing Halo, the first one, on the Xbox, and there were some mess ups on that. There were some bugs, but they were really fun bugs. There was one bug where you could skip a part of the map and then none of the enemies would spawn. So you could go around messing about with all the vehicles they would use, the spawn points, the weapons that they dropped and picked up. And then you could run back to where you first did the bug. Carry on going along the path you were supposed to go along, the enemies would respawn. And when they spawned, you had enemies that didn't have access to the flying ships and things like that. But you did now. You could fly around in them. You could take the cars away from people. And you then had the cars. Warthogs. It's bugs like that that can make a game better than was actually intended. And The Purge is exactly that. It was something that wasn't intended but enhanced the game in a way where they need to integrate it into the game somehow on a lot smaller scale. But this has to come in somehow. Everyone needs to experience it, and I hope we can one day. Also, Dark Zone funds and experience rewards for surviving rogue status have been improved, and Dark Zone funds and experience reward for killing rogue agents has been improved. So all round, going rogue and hunting rogues has just got a hell of a lot better. We'll have to test to see how well it is, but before it was not worth going rogue. Now, possibly, we're going to actually get a more tense Dark Zone with people possibly going rogue all over the place. I mean, when you're extracting at the moment, you really don't have to worry about people killing you. In the beta, it was a real worry. It could cause some really intense moments, especially when you're just about to clip on your loot to the helicopter line, and then some grenade, you get that red marker of a grenade coming over, and you either carry on doing it and hope you get your pack on in time, or you roll out and start killing who was trying to kill you. Hell, it's good fun when it's like that. Next one. Increased drop rate for high-end items from level 31 and 32 named NPCs in the Dark Zone. Also, increased drop rate of high-end items, tech materials from level 32 named NPCs in the Dark Zone. So, all round, a hell of a lot more good, more useful and usable stuff for us hardcore gamers. Dark Zone funds drop rate and quantity on NPCs has been reduced, so far more or less Dark Zone funds out there, but I'm gonna guess a lot of you already have a hell of a lot just waiting there and not being used. I know I do. They fixed a bug where the wildfire and fear tactics talents were affecting neutral players in the Dark Zone. I'll admit, I haven't got a clue what that means, so I'll just move on. Fixed instances where players would receive delta errors. Another bug fix. It's the bug where sometimes players could not loot anything when returning to the game after a network disconnect. Very nice change. Fix stage 1 rogue timers not displaying correctly when rogue players receive damage from another player. I'll admit I never came across that, but thank you for the change. But here's a good one, and probably my favourite part of all these patch notes. Improved Dark Zone chests items quality. Rank 30 chests will now drop superior purple items instead of specialised, the blue ones. And key chests will now have a chance to drop high-end items. Hell yeah! There's been some UI and graphical improvements, but nothing of note, except for the fact that they've added more information for daily missions on the map. So we'll have to see what that brings. They've added a localization improvements for Korean and traditional Chinese. So if there's anyone listening that speaks those languages, congrats. There's been some PC improvements. The Tobii eye tracker bug fixes and improvements. That was the machine that would track your eyes, and when you look around the screen, you can have the UI disappear until you looked at it. And you could also use it to aim your gun as well by looking at the enemy you want to shoot and then clicking the mouse button. So that when you suspend the game and come back to it, you will now be able to reconnect, as well as unblocking people will now be reflected in the game. PlayStation 4, they've added the option to disable the PlayStation 4 controller speaker, which is nice because it probably has about 1 watt of power on it, so who wants that thing going off? Personal preference. Improved textures and models streaming speed, and they fixed an issue where ISAC volume could get too loud when playing with a headset, which is something I do all the time, except I don't have a PlayStation 4. I have it on PC, but I can understand. I feel for you. Feel your pain. That's all we have for you for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Stand that tide.